Good afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with the Simpler Stocks free video for August 18th, 2016. So you can see here it's about 14 minutes after the bell. Had some technical problems with Thinkorswim and the platform. Their caller help desk is fantastic. If you ever call them up, they'll help you with everything, and we got everything working really well. Today is all about the ESs being up just a bit, reacting to the Fed meeting at 2 o'clock. ES is right now up 275. At one time, they were way down about 7-8 points in here, and then just had one of their old fantastic finishes like you're used to in there. On the Simpler Stocks premium side, we've been talking about the bear wedge and talking about support. Guess what? Right where it stopped today at 2170. So that's pretty exciting to have that pegged pretty well. Today we had the NASDAQ up all of 550. Really interesting to watch the NASDAQ in here. Here's another thing in the live chat in Simpler Stocks that we talk about all the time in here is watching the stocks within the NASDAQ and watching that when it sold off today, the stocks within the NASDAQ refused to go lower in here. If you ever get a chance, these are some of the tactics we discuss, is go and put in a 6-grid chart. Have up here the NASDAQ on the left and on the upper left chart. The other ones have the Googles, the Amazons, the Apples, the Facebooks, and so on. As you can see by here, these stocks refused to go down. And sure enough, that led to the NASDAQ going up in here. We had the Russell still down 350 today. Actually, small cap stocks act a little weaker than the rest of the market. Yet bonds up 23. How many times have we seen where whatever bonds do, the ESs do? That's because the market might be in some kind of bubble you talk about. You go to all these articles on CBS Market Watch and so on, talking about how we're in the top quartile or whatever you call it of overvalued in history. The problem is they're not taking into account bonds. And if yields are really low, then valuations get stretched. It works every time. Bonds rallied today, market rallies. It's just the way it goes in there. Gold down $4. Gold still not acting well, with the dollar actually being relatively weak. That's something that needs to be revisited every day. But at the moment, at least, it's showing a troubling correlation with gold, not an inverse correlation. We had crude oil up all of 30 cents. We had the transports up 31. That always helps the market overall. We had advanced decline all day, relatively benign. They were down 1,000 at one time. But like I always tell people, it's how the reaction of the advanced decline is to minute changes in the ES. This is something I will show you on what I show in our premium side. You have the advanced decline here, and I'm going to put it on a 2-minute chart. Now on the right, we're going to show the ESs, the E-minis. What you're going to see in here is that when the E-minis went to a new low at 11 o'clock, these were already starting to go up. Every little bump up of the ESs, this went straight up. That's always a big tell that this didn't just flatline down 1,000 no matter what the ESs did. That goes to show you the internal market is sort of like a teenager that's prone in high school to be a follower. Well, here you go with the ADD being a follower to the ES. Wasn't in its own realm, so to speak. And when this rallied, this closes up 325. Advanced decline closes moderately positive. Tiny, but positive. Definitely something to keep in mind is watching that intraday in here. The other thing you had in here is you had the gold stocks down a little, corn up a little, rest of the group not doing much, and yet the VIX finally have a little bit of a sell-off. It had a nice little bump a couple of days ago in here, right in this area, and then just sold off today. Here's another thing. Look at this tell. The second the ES is rallied, the volatility didn't stick up here. It fell apart. That's another tell in there that we could go up and stay up, and that's exactly what we did in here. The other thing in here you should know, and I was trying to think of the segue in here, is what your subscription, if you get a premium subscription, what it includes. One thing is it includes the chat room. It also, at times when I do paid classes, it actually gives you sometimes discounts to them. I did a class last night on usual option activity. Really exciting, the gigantic participation. And it was really a fun class, right in my wheelhouse of what I do all day in here. and it was fun to just show everybody systematically how I do it. My class, though, in there, we're also having a 3-hour live trading on Friday, the last 3 hours of the day, which is really exciting because those are the meat of the whole week. That's where you can make a lot of money in there with chart patterns, with trends, with expiration, with takeover rumors. I'm really excited to be doing that the last 3 hours. But the simpler stocks, the actual thing you get for your trial of $7 for 30 days, you get a chat room when we're on live from 9 to 10 in the morning. Every morning, we're in there. The other thing you get in there is you get the premium video, which is a lot more in-depth than what we talk about in here. This is usually about a 15 to 20-minute video going over specific ideas. We have a forum that's a message-based way of communication from subscriber to subscriber, or from subscriber to me. Really good way to get a hold of me, one way. Also, even though we've really exploded in popularity, I've tried to answer every email within 15 minutes. Everybody knows that. Pretty neat. I've been doing this 34 years. I still try to have that attention to detail. Other thing in here, we have a meetup about every 10 days. This is not a paid class. This is something that's anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour that we go over different tactics from an experienced person like me. Whether creating your own scans, simple indicators, and then they go in a knowledge base. All these are free if you have your subscription in there. And the last thing in here, and this is what a lot of people were interested in, was my email alerts. Every morning, I think the first thing you need to look at is the index and future charts to give you an idea of what stocks to trade. I then show some stock trades and chart ideas, and this has become really popular, the unusual options activity, which ties into what I did last night. The idea in there is I'm very picky. I didn't even post any today because I couldn't find a really good one today. When I post them, they usually work. So I hope you could take us up on the $7 30-day trial. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I will be back with you tomorrow. Take care.